Police in San Francisco are investigating after the daughter of actor Tommy Lee Jones was found dead in an upscale hotel on New Year's Day.
Tommy Lee Jones was found dead inside of a
On the morning of the very first day of 2026, while much of the world was still riding the glow of fireworks and celebration, a single phone call shattered everything for Tommy Lee Jones. There was no warmth in the ring, no celebration, just that kind of sound that freezes time before reality crashes in. On the other end of the line was not his daughter's voice, it was law enforcement. Calm, controlled, heavy. They informed him that Victoria Kafka Jones had been found unresponsive inside a luxury hotel room. The circumstances were unclear at that moment. Every parent's worst nightmare, delivered in a voice trained to remain steady. The man audiences knew for playing unbreakable figures didn't perform this time. There was no script, no role to hide behind. Just a father collapsing under a weight no preparation could soften.
Medics were called to the Fairmont Hotel early Thursday morning for a suspected overdose after another guest found 34-year-old Victoria Jones on the hotel.
For years, Tommy had stood beside his daughter through an exhausting and painful struggle. He believed in patience, in love, in family. He believed that if he stayed long enough, if he held on hard enough, it would be enough. But the shadow always returned. Stronger, colder, slowly draining hope. And now the questions hit all at once. What really happened inside that hotel room? Was there anything he could have done differently? Or was this one of those moments no parent ever truly controls? In the quiet early hours of New Year's Day, when the world was still laughing and empty glasses sat untouched, his phone rang again.
Paramedics arrived. Jones was already dead. The medical examiner is investigating and has not released the official cause of.
Expecting a holiday greeting, he answered without thinking. Instead, he heard the measured voice of police. "Mr. Jones, we regret to inform you." Before the sentence could finish, the room began to spin. Tommy stood frozen, the phone shaking in his hand as reality slammed into him.
Jones was the only daughter of the acclaimed actor and his second wife. Tommy Lee Jones has not commented on his daughter's death.
"That's not possible," he whispered. "You've made a mistake. I just spoke to her." The silence that followed said everything. The phone slipped from his hand and hit the floor. The actor, known for strength and control, suddenly looked fragile. No tears at first, just sharp, uneven breaths, like the air itself had become heavy. "No, please don't let this be true," he whispered. Outside, San Francisco still glittered with New Year's lights. Inside that hotel room, everything had gone quiet far too soon. Victoria was only 34. At the exact moment the world welcomed fresh beginnings, the Fairmont Hotel, known for elegance and celebrity guests, became the center of something unthinkable. Emergency crews filled the halls. A call had come in shortly before 3 a.m. Officers arrived roughly 20 minutes later and were informed that an adult woman had been found unresponsive on the 14th floor. At first, another guest believed she had simply fainted. But when staff arrived, it became clear the situation was critical. Early information pointed to a medical emergency, possibly connected to substance use. Authorities stated there were no immediate signs of outside involvement or self-harm, while emphasizing that official findings were still pending. Questions remained. Was Victoria staying at the hotel? Was she visiting someone? Investigators had not yet clarified. Shortly after, the Jones family released a brief but emotional statement, thanking the public for their support and asking for privacy during their grief. Those close to the family described Tommy as devastated, but surrounded by loved ones, all trying to shield each other from the spotlight. One friend said the family hoped Victoria would be remembered as a person, not a headline. As the news spread, people revisited an interview from just 3 months earlier. In it, viewers didn't see a Hollywood legend. They saw a tired father. Tommy spoke softly about his hope that his daughter would one day find peace. He never hid her struggles. He called it the longest and most painful fight of his life. He talked about driving her to treatment centers, sitting through late-night conversations, holding her hand when hope felt dangerously thin. "I held her hand so many times," he said quietly, "and I told her, 'You're not fighting alone.'" Then came the line that stayed with everyone. "Sometimes love alone isn't enough." He described the hardest role he ever played, not on screen, but at home. A father setting boundaries, saying no, enduring distance, making decisions that never feel right, but still have to be made. "There were days she looked at me like I was her enemy," he admitted. "But if I didn't hold the line, I was afraid I'd lose her." Fear, exhaustion, love, twisted together. He spoke about how she would promise to change, to start over, and every time he believed her. "I wanted to believe her," he said, "because if I didn't, who would?" That belief became both his strength and his pain. One moment haunted him most. After she agreed to return to treatment, they sat in the car in silence. Tommy turned to her and whispered, "You just need to live. That's all I need." She didn't answer. She only nodded. That nod became his hope. Even 3 months before that New Year's morning, Tommy still believed she was trying, that some days were brighter, that recovery wasn't linear, but possible. "She's intelligent, sensitive, deep," he said. "She wasn't meant to fade away." Those words now echo differently. "I can open every door," he once admitted, "but I can't walk through it for her." What once sounded like resolve now feels haunting. Victoria lived mostly outside the spotlight. She valued privacy. Those who knew her remember her warmth, creativity, and quiet intelligence, qualities that make her absence even heavier. She appeared occasionally beside her father, but fame never defined her. Born in 1991, she grew up between two worlds, one shaped by Hollywood expectations and another far quieter, where structure mattered more than indulgence. Her bond with her father was built on discipline, not privilege. When she joined him on set, she was treated like anyone else. No shortcuts, no favors. Her early film appearances were subtle, never forced, just glimpses of something real. And now, that story, unfinished, has left a silence that no role, no award, and no strength can fill. As Victoria grew up, Tommy Lee Jones made choices that reflected both discipline and quiet faith in who his daughter could become. He once revealed that when she was very young, he asked her babysitter to speak only Spanish around her, not as pressure, not as training, but as immersion. He wanted language to come naturally, guided by curiosity rather than expectation. It was a small decision, but it showed how deeply he believed in her inner drive. Victoria wasn't simply his daughter. She had her own spark, her own rhythm. Looking back now, those memories carry a heavier weight. Unlike many children raised around cameras and red carpets, Victoria Kafka Jones never chased attention. Her artistic path was brief, intentional, and calm. After a handful of small roles, she slowly stepped away. As her teenage years arrived, Hollywood faded from her life, not through conflict or headlines, but through distance. Tommy once shared a story that perfectly captured both his tough love approach and her stubborn independence. Around age 14, Victoria refused to wake up early for a scheduled shoot. Tommy made a hard call and sent her home. Ironically, the crew believed in her so strongly that they went themselves, woke her up, and brought her to set anyway. She completed a few more small roles after that, but soon chose to walk away entirely. She never tried to build a brand, never leaned into her last name. She chose privacy over applause, calm over chaos. As the years passed, Victoria retreated almost completely from public view. She was rarely photographed, rarely mentioned. When she did appear, it was during quiet family moments. From the outside, it looked like peace, but silence doesn't always mean everything is okay. In more recent years, her name began appearing in California court records. In 2023, Tommy filed for a temporary conservatorship in Marin County, citing serious concerns for his daughter's health and safety tied to ongoing substance struggles. He requested placement in a secure rehabilitation facility, hoping that urgent action could help stabilize her. The request was not about control, it was about protection. At the time, Victoria was already under medical supervision, and doctors reportedly believed she was at significant risk. By 2025, public documents suggested the situation had grown more unstable. In February, authorities in Napa County responded to a call following an argument at a residence. No charges were filed. 2 months later, during a welfare check at another location in Napa County, officers reported that Victoria appeared heavily impaired and admitted to recent substance use. She faced charges related to possession and resistance, which were later addressed through legal process. In May, she was detained again in Santa Cruz County following a public incident where intoxication was cited. Soon after, another incident occurred at a luxury resort in Napa County, where authorities alleged substance involvement connected to a domestic-related dispute. Victoria denied the allegations and was released pending trial. Those close to her described that period as one of the darkest chapters of her life. From a bright child who once quietly shared the screen with her father, she had become a young woman battling forces far bigger than fame or money. Her story became one of quiet struggle, a reminder that privilege does not cancel pain, and that love alone does not always fix everything. The Jones family never released detailed public statements addressing these incidents, but the record itself told a story, one of effort, one of concern, and one of a family trying again and again to help even when the road refused to straighten. While the official cause of Victoria's passing has not been confirmed, an overwhelming wave of support poured in for Tommy Lee Jones and his family. No matter the circumstances, losing a child is a pain beyond language, especially at the very beginning of a year meant for fresh starts. The silence inside that hotel room still feels heavy, lingering, waiting. Uncertainty became the loudest presence of all. An independent investigator later explained that situations like this are often classified as suspicious in the earliest stages, not because of clear signs, but because there are none. No visible injuries, no immediate explanation, just too many unanswered questions. When an incident occurs inside a hotel, the complexity multiplies fast. Hotels are public spaces layered with private rooms, staff movement, guests, cameras, elevators, constant motion. Each room functions like a separate home stacked on top of another, making scene control extremely delicate. Investigators must coordinate closely with hotel management, balancing evidence preservation with minimal disruption. Entire hallways, sometimes even full floors, may need to be secured. Every step matters. Every delay matters. And as the review process continues, what remains clear is this: Victoria's story was never simple, never loud, and never defined by one moment. One critical advantage in cases like this lies in hotel surveillance. Modern properties are layered with cameras, lobbies, elevators, hallways, entrances, exits, creating a digital map of movement. That network allows investigators to reconstruct timelines with precision. Footage can show when Victoria Kafka Jones arrived, which floor she accessed, and whether she left or returned. Digital keycard logs and room access data help close the gaps. From there, the process becomes methodical. Interviews, phone records, security reviews, minute-by-minute reconstruction. In today's world, nearly every movement leaves a trace, but connecting those traces takes time, patience, and care. One detail continues to unsettle those watching closely. Victoria was reportedly found alone, discovered by another guest whose connection to her remains unclear. That single fact raises difficult questions. Who was this person? Why were they nearby? And what role, if any, did they play in her final hours? Those answers remain out of reach for now. In cases like this, investigators always start at the end, the moment a person is found, then work backward, step by step, to understand how the final hours unfolded. Every answer opens another question. Until those gaps are filled, the silence of that hotel room lingers. Heavy, unresolved. Authorities stated early on that there was no indication of criminal involvement. Statements like that are often misunderstood. It doesn't mean every possibility has been ruled out. It means there were no visible external signs at that stage. Real investigations are never simple. Details evolve. Timelines shift. What looks clear one day can look different the next. That's why law enforcement chooses words carefully, balancing transparency with responsibility. If there's even the smallest concern about safety, they act fast, coordinating with hotel staff and local officials, securing footage, preserving data, and documenting every detail. Hotels aren't like private homes, they're living systems with constant movement. One incident ripples through layers of routines, staff schedules, and guest activity. Hallways may be restricted, floors isolated. Every timestamp matters. Technology plays a crucial role. By combining camera footage with access logs, investigators can map movements with accuracy. Who crossed paths when doors opened and closed, whether routes changed. Then comes the grind. Phone records, messages, witness interviews, and timeline comparisons. Accuracy takes patience, especially when the person involved is connected to a public figure and public pressure is high. Medical specialists are central at this stage. The absence of visible signs doesn't end the process, it deepens it. Some of the most important answers live beneath the surface. Heart irregularities, undiagnosed conditions, interactions between substances, timing, and levels. Laboratory analysis takes weeks, sometimes longer. Nothing can be rushed when the outcome matters this much. Throughout it all, one principle remains. Families are informed first. Before headlines, before speculation. That isn't just procedure, it's humanity. For Tommy Lee Jones, this was never about legacy or Hollywood. It was about a father who believed love could pull his child back, and now stands in the aftermath of that hope. This story forces a broader reflection. How often do silent struggles go unnoticed? Addiction and depression don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper, hidden behind routines, smiles, and polite conversations. Compassion isn't only sympathy, it's attention. Checking in on someone who's gone quiet. Noticing when laughter feels forced. offering help before it's asked. Small acts can matter more than we realize. Victoria's story matters because it reminds us that fame doesn't protect against pain, privilege doesn't guarantee peace, and resources alone can't shield anyone from what happens inside their own mind. In one of his final interviews before everything changed, Tommy spoke quietly but firmly. She wasn't meant to disappear like that. Only a parent could say that, defiant, hopeful, refusing to accept that her story should end here. Truth matters. It restores dignity. It helps us remember the person, not just the circumstances. That's what this family deserves, understanding, not noise.